Hey everybody, this is Greg with the Dice Flow, and today I'm going to do something a little different. I have here the command squad for the U.S. Army from All Quiet on the Martian Front. I've already painted this guy, and there wasn't much to show in an unboxing video. It's just a bunch of figures that came with the unit, and so I went ahead and put together, painted it, and so I'm going to do a unit review of this unit, and then also an overview of how I went about painting it. As I say later in the video, I started filming some of the how to paint and pretty much ended up with a whole back of my hand for an hour, and so nobody wants to see that. So we'll just talk about what we did. So hope you enjoy this, and we'll start with the unit overview. Okay, let's take a quick look at the unit. The U.S. Command Squad, it represents officers together with telephone operators, runners, and other troops. And these guys, as with other infantry, they have stealth rule, and so which makes them be able to move as just a blip. This command squad can be nominated as the Army's field commander if it's the only command squad. So again, this is a 30-point unit, very cheap, and honestly, if you don't have the points for the Mark IV command tank, you ought to be taking one of these. It's got stealth, rally, field commander. It moves 6 inches, a defense 5, armor 4. It's got rifles at 15-inch range. You're really not taking this unit for rifles or anything. The big thing it has is rally. And that's if a friendly unit is within 6 inches of a command element, it can reroll a failed morale check. And then it also has field commander, and as we talked about last episode, the field commander gets so many tokens that they can use, and at the beginning of the round you can expend the tokens on units that have failed morale, and they will automatically regroup, which is, you know, just so important for the US. And so that's the US Command Squad. Like I said, 30 points. You probably want to always take this thing minimally. Just for the use of the field commander and the rally. I'll go ahead and get this guy thrown together. I went ahead and painted these guys up and went to review the video and pretty much found I had a good hour of the back of my hand, which nobody wanted to see. So I'm just going to kind of talk through what I did here real fast. As you can see, we've got the units, and I went ahead and put these units on a popsicle stick, just glued them on so they're easier to handle and paint, so I could get to the different places on them and sides without having to touch them, which made it a lot easier. So the first thing I did is I went ahead and after priming them, I put this is a master paint olive shadow that I used as a base coat, and then went ahead and just put a regular olive green from Reaper on top of that, just kind of finishing up the green sort of in the shade area here. I went ahead and or on the top I dry brushed this it's sort of a Russian uniform World War I green, and didn't really get a lot of color there, but just enough to hit these little edges, and you can see some of the highlights sticking out on those. And then finally I used a Castellan green from GW and just hit the tops of these helmets with each one to kind of give it a little lighter green. That is obviously not green. So what else did we do? We got the Doughboys backpacks and the front packs, and that is done with the Desert Tan from Reaper. Their faces and arms and faces of people that you have faces were done in a Caucasian flesh with a Reichland flesh shade on top of them. And for the stand, the radio stand, I used a dryad bark and went ahead and washed it with Nuln oil, and Then did a dry brush, a little bit of Carrick Stone and Steel Legion drab. And I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but you can kind of see picked up the different color edging on this piece here. So the radio guy I just did with an old gosh, it's an old Ralph Partha steel, but it's basically just anything that's a dark metallic. I don't know if you can get real close here. You can see some of these guys have hair. Can't see, and so we did black on that hair, Abaddon black. Typical just red, fist on red and white scar for these flags, which we're going to go ahead and show you there. See the guy with the flags, and a little bit of Screaming Skull and Carrick Stone again for this paperwork here. Again, I used a black Dryad bark. Probably did a different guy here. Dryad bark and a black wash on the guns of each of these guys, the rifles. And finally, for each of the leather going around here and the leather straps, which we can maybe show. So the leather straps here and the leather backpacks and the leather belts, I went ahead and used it's just a bootstrap leather from Privateer Press. And so that's pretty much it. Oh, I should say, I used Mechanica Standard Gray and Eschen Gray, one on the helmet and two on the face masks. Hopefully you guys can see a face mask there that's picking up a little bit of gray. So that's basically it. That's all. Only 20 paints. Actually, I don't know how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 23 paints on these guys. I've gone ahead and put the base, painted the base just with a Death World Forest, and I'm going to go ahead and throw some flock on it, and then add these guys to the base. But hopefully people will find this useful, because basically this is how I would do Doughboys. Okay, we have the basing done, and gone ahead and add some flock and some other basings onto here. And so I'm going to just try and show you what it looks like. So yeah, this looks pretty cool, I think. You got the command guy giving the orders to the troops, and the flagman up on top of the pole with the radio. And yeah, it looks pretty good. And that's it. So hopefully this has been a useful video, or give you guys an idea what this unit looks like when painted up. And we'll catch you next time. Thanks.